Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown. Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What up, guys? Welcome, YouTube, to another episode of Two Fat Guys Pull List, issue 127. Yes, it is just Jim, but Nate will be here soon. I kind of like starting the show off where we kind of chat a little bit before Nate jumps in. But yeah, welcome to episode or issue 127 of Two Fat Guys Pull List. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing? We didn't have a show last week. Because it was Easter and we were all chilling with our families, but we are back here raring to go. And man, I'll get into the comics. I'll get into this week's comics for sure. I mean, it was, just to give you a little snippet, it was tasty. It was quite tasty. Leah, I got a bone to pick with you. I don't know if it's a bone. I need to choose my words wisely. But that book you suggested, what the fuck? We'll get to it, right? What was your pick of the week last week? Oh, what was last week? Man, I gotta look. I don't even remember. Calvin, it's your birthday. What up? What up? Happy birthday. Welcome to 37. I'm gonna turn 36 in May. It's crazy to say. What was my pick of the week last week? I am so far away. So last week. It was Scarlet Witch. It was Scarlet Witch for me. I really dug. Well, no, it was between Scarlet Witch and Adventures of Superman John Kent. Those two books were just, yeah. The ending was wild in John Kent's book, but I really dug Scarlet Witch last week. It was really good. So it would be between those two if I had to pick. It was Wednesday. We're right on. Well, happy birthday either way, man. I'm glad that hopefully you had a good birthday. Anyway, yeah, last week was definitely Scarlet Witch, and then it was between Scarlet Witch and John Kent. Those books were just banging. It'll be here in about 5 minutes. So anyway, let's get over here. What did Lee say? Haha, you're welcome. I got Nate to pick it up too. What? Like, we'll talk about it. It's not on the poll officially. Like, it's not even in the slides. But when we might actually talk about it before we even get into this week's poll. That book was nuts, and we'll talk about it. And everybody, I'm not going to say the title until we get to it when Snake gets here, but that book was crazy. Let's get to it. What up, John? What up, Calvin? Joe, how's it going? FWC, what up? What was it? We got that one. Official 37. Today is laundry day. Children outside screaming day. Great. Can't wait to hear your take on Spider Boy. Oh, was that this week? I didn't read it. So tell me all about it, John. I heard about it, but we didn't read it. It wasn't on the poll. Joe John Kent's book was ending. It was wild. Evil, not gonna lie, X-Men is ending like a wet fart. Something's up, man. I mean, they're definitely, they're moving it into whatever phase it's gonna be. I enjoyed this week's issue of Sins of Sinister with Ewing's book, but it did feel very like, and we all kind of knew this, right? You know what? I don't want to get into it. I want to wait until Nick gets here because that's part of the review. But I kind of agree with you. Last, it feels like it's going out with a whimper. We had this massive world build that Hickman did, and now it's just kind of like, whatever. We're gonna move on. And hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it picks up and we get into a better spot. But right now it just feels, A Sweater has been memed into infamy. Really? I don't know much about it. I just know it was supposed to be this new character. But, is what it is. Well, while we wait for Nate to get here, let's go ahead and do the business of the show. We always start off by talking about our show sponsor, which is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. They are an amazing LCS that me and Nate both go to, who we frequent, and Ron over there takes care of us, and we love that shop. We love the community over there. So if you're ever in the DFW area, make sure to go check out Collected Comics and Games. They have 2 locations. They have one in Fort Worth, and then they have one in Keller, where Brent is at, and they've got a great shop, great selection, comics, all kinds of cool stuff, toys, board games, models, trading cards, all kinds of cool stuff. But what we would love for you to do is head on over to their website, brainycomics.com. If you go over to brainycomics.com, you can do a little bit of shopping. You can get exclusive and variant covers, bundles, bad idea books, new comics, mystery bags, back issues, graphic novels, games, toys and collectibles, and even trading cards. It's a great website, and we would love for you to go over there if you so choose to do a little bit of shopping over at brainycomics.com. And then once you're done doing your shopping, whether it's for your birthday, Calvin, right, or for a loved one, or it's an anniversary, or any kind of occasion, or you're just trying to buy something for yourself. Once you're done shopping, we'd love for you to go up to that search bar right up there, type in 2 Fat Guys Pull List, and when you press enter, this is going to pop up. The 2 Fat Guys Pull List upgrade and premium upgrade. You're probably asking yourself, well, what is that? Well, what that is when you put that in your cart, if you do the upgrade for $8, you get a mystery exclusive cover, which we'll look at the front. If you do the premium, you get 2, and you can see on the front, these are the exclusive and variant covers that Ron has in the store. Oh my god, I love these. I really want this Storm, and the Quinnon one is really good too. But he's got a laundry list of variants and exclusives here that you have potential to win, or not win, but win, or essentially get when you put that upgrade in your cart. Ron likes to essentially put a corresponding cover to what you bought usually in your pool. So if you bought some DC stuff, we'll put a DC cover in there. If you bought a Marvel, etc. But yeah, it's a great deal. So head on over to BradyComics.com, do a little bit of shopping, put that 2 Fat Guys Pull List upgrade in your cart before you leave when you check out, and then when your stuff comes in the mail, make sure to tag 2 Fat Guys Pull List on Instagram and Facebook, and let us know what exactly you may have gotten, what mystery cover you got. So that'd be great if you could do that. Also, hold on, I gotta make sure this is the right button. Boop, yep. Let's talk about our sub goal giveaway. We're on the road to 850 subscribers. We are very close. I think we're at 824 subscribers. It kind of fluctuates. We were at 825 this afternoon, but people drop off. That's cool. But when we hit that 850, you know what we're gonna do? We're giving away the CBCS 9.8 Green Lantern. I gotta like it here. Green Lantern #1 retail incentive. Realtor incentive. So really sick cover, really great looking cover with John Stewart on there. Sad to see it go, but we will give it away when we hit 850 subscribers. And you guys know the drill. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, which I would love to hit 1,000 before the end of 2023. I think it's a decent goal. Maybe we could do it before the end of summer. But when we hit 1,000, we're giving away the CBCS 9.8 Amazing Spider-Man #4, the first appearance of Silk. We will be giving this away when we hit 1,000 subscribers, guys. So let's hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and make sure to give us a like. Let's get these likes up. You know you want to. And once we do it, we'll give that away. So, and we're going to give something away at 950 subscribers, because I'm just feeling super generous. But we will get to that. But anyway, that's the business. Let's get here to chat really quick. Nate is jumping in as we speak. Let's see here. We don't have to talk about Spider-Boy. They just kind of ripped off the Sentry's Origin certain cover. We're on eBay for around 40 on the same day it came out. Interesting. I don't think writers know how to pace their books properly, like Mystique dying during some raid show. The hero's still alive and felt like there was no pushback. I like even during the lead up to Secret Wars, Reed and the team were being hunted by everyone consistently. It feels like Sinister just bypassed everyone's. Destiny seemed useless as a character. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely feeling like, you would assume because we have kind of less tie-ins, it'd be less messy, but it definitely feels like it's a little jarring. So hopefully the Omega will kind of clean it up a little bit. There he is. I hear him in his chair. Hello. Let's let me get you set up here, Nate, and we can get started. Pop it out, and then go here, and then this goes down here, and then I'm gonna push this button, and hopefully you show up. Hopefully you show up. Hopefully, nope. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Let's see. Where's Nate's cam? And then we gotta go here, and then here. Nope. And then go here. There he is. It's a professional podcast, guys. What are you doing?
It was like you could see my tits.
Well, that's okay.
Well, that's for the Patreon only.
We haven't set that up yet. Anyway,
what do we do?
Oh, we do. Yeah, when we hit 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, welcome, Nate. We were doing the business, talking to chat. Just by the way, Calvin just celebrated his 37th birthday. His birthday on Wednesday.
Congratulations.
Lass is upset about X-Men, not a surprise, and I kind of agree with him. And everybody else is here. Everybody's here to party. So
hell yeah.
Let's before we even start with our what up, Jaden? Before we even start with the actual poll, let's talk about this book that that Lee decided to say, you know what, you guys should pick this up.
The cock book.
The cock book. Hold on, let me get mine too.
It's where's that? Here it is.
All right, let's talk about this book. She's doing her laundry right now, so she's listening as she does laundry. Podcasts aren't the same without the scuff. Some scuff. The giant. How do you say it?
Cockju. Try to say kaiju. Try to say kaiju, but just say cock instead.
Cockju. What the fuck?
Cockju, yes.
Let me just give you my first impressions here, really quick.
John?
I actually kind of liked it. Like,
yes.
Like I was like, oh, this is like, I mean, the entire time I'm reading it, I'm like, what the fuck? And I mean, the beginning of the what the fuck started when the monster decided to take a gooey green shit all over the city that it was about to destroy or was destroying. Yeah. So that was crazy. And then like monsters started coming out of its shit, eating people.
Yeah, so that was not expecting that.
No, and then, 2 pages later, we've got the giant cockju.
Yeah, here's a censored version of the photo.
Fuck.
It's on the back of it, but it's really hard. It's pretty small, but there's an uncensored version of this image in the book. It's a full page spread.
Joe, it was not written by Richard Hammer Bush. It was written by Gary Jerry Duggan.
This is the Deadpool creative team.
I mean, that's an understatement. Like, this is Deadpool on fucking crack. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get an issue 2. I don't think it's completely a pull, but I'm getting it an issue 2.
Yes.
Because I'm intrigued with the characters. But dude, like, I had 4 books to read left in my pool this afternoon, and this was the last book I read. And
you saved the treat there.
Jim going for seconds. You damn right. Yeah, I mean, I guess thanks, Lee.
I guess thanks, maybe.
I thought it might be silly break from the usual pool. Thanks for trusting my. Yeah.
Oh, it definitely was, especially after I finished. I read that after I finished Noctera and then 8 Billion Genies. So yeah, there was definitely a tone shifter for me that I needed.
100%. But anyway, yeah. So that's that book. So if you're looking for something extremely different and very jarring, I guess I could say I recommend it. Definitely not for the faint of heart or young readers. So have fun with that. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our polls this week. We're going to kick off the show with Captain Marvel, issue number 48 from Kelly Thompson. Revenge of the Brood, part number 6. This was, I am still really digging this little partnership right now that we're dealing with Thompson and Gary Jerry. I think it's really fun. And I guess my only criticism is that we are nearing the end. We are nearing the end of her run, and it's just like I kind of don't want it to. But this book was a very close to being my pick of the week.
Yeah.
Very close. Like it was the pick of the week until I read another book, and it's a very close second. I thought the artwork in it was fantastic. I loved the internal thoughts and brood thoughts that we got with Captain Marvel and her just kind of coming to the terms with the fact that, spoilers, Binary dies. And she goes full on Super Saiyan in this book, and I don't know, man. It just
like Super Saiyan, like her hair's like floating in the air and everything.
Yeah. Well, and when I got to that panel, the first thing you see is her like going Super Saiyan, but then when you really study it, and you're like, oh shit, like Binary's back and almost butt has been completely chewed off. I was like, holy crap.
Oh yeah, she is almost severed in two.
Yeah. Brutal. Just brutal.
So this issue for me, I would say, is going to be one of the, I think, highlighted issues of the run.
Okay.
And why this run itself, this 50-issue landmark run of Captain Marvel, is going to be so lauded. And it actually has nothing to do with Kelly Thompson in this issue. While I think her writing is great.
Yeah.
I think this issue is 110% taken over by, now I'm not going to say this right, Dela Cruz. It's Ceci or CCS, it's CECI, but Dela Cruz is the colorist of this book. And they completely, this is a masterclass on what a colorist does in comics. So if you're ever like, why are inkers or whatever not doing their own, color?
Yeah.
And what can a colorist do that other people aren't? So you've got like your tonal shift, you've got your normal, how this entire run has been. And then we go and see everything from Captain Marvel's perspective when she's in this essentially like brood hive
mindscape. Yeah.
And it just completely changes. And it almost makes the line art look, it makes the line art look radically different too. And I was just like, what the fuck? And it's going to be really hard to tell on these two panels, but you can kind of get a little bit of that too on these two panels, this one and that one. But I just love it. I think that a lot of the creative teams on this hasn't really had like a continuous artistic team. It feels like every arc is different. But I don't know. I just really loved that. I thought that was a absolute masterclass of coloring for comics.
Joe, you're 100% correct, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I personally loved seeing the trailer for Captain Marvel. I thought it looked great. It definitely has me stoked, and I'll be honest with you, with the first Captain Marvel when it came out, I was like, not really too, like, I wasn't really.
Such a bad take.
What?
Having doubt in that movie.
Oh, last? Or am I in what?
You.
What, in the first Captain
Having
Marvel
doubt
movie?
in Captain Marvel.
I didn't. Well, if I'm being absolutely honest with you, I didn't really. I mean, I was indifferent with the first Captain Marvel movie. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't like, that's my favorite Marvel movie. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be. I'm not. You say it's a bad take. That's just my opinion, dude. But that being said,
some opinions are bad.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
I'm not saying that's one of them. I'm just saying some.
You kind of seem like you're insinuating. But anyway, the most recent Captain Marvel trailer to me looks fantastic. Whoever did that trailer, and said, all right, we're doing Beastie Boys, was like, sold, done immediately, and then you got the character build. I'm cool with it, but that's just me. And you're probably right. I think the next Captain Marvel book will definitely be tonally will copy and mirror the next the movie. And I think that's that kind of makes sense.
I would honestly love a book with the three of them though. So
oh God, yes.
I'm okay with that.
100%. All right, let's keep moving with Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 1 from Lansing and Kelly, Walker and Hollingsworth. I'm gonna give my quick feel for the book, and then I'm very interested to hear what you thought about it.
Okay.
Overall, I am digging the story. I personally am digging the story. I really like this idea of a out of control hive mind Groot taking over planets and the mystery behind that. I like the gunslinger-esque of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I really Patty, yes, this cover is absolute fire. The issue 2's cover is going to be fantastic with Gamora on it.
Have you seen the Peach Momoko cover for it?
Yes.
There's a Peach Momoko Nebula cover.
I know.
Probably getting both.
I liked the story. I really did. The thing that really bothered me about this book was the artwork.
was it because it was John Romita Jr.?
Yeah, it was just not outside of the reveal to Groot being a floating root head, gigantic floating root head. I just could not. The art was just not. It just was. It felt like, hey, we've got a contest, and you might get picked to do the first issue of Guardians of the Galaxy. New senior high school student that's about to go to college and take drawing classes. Like, that's what it felt like. Ooh. And it's incredibly disheartening, unfortunately for me. I'm gonna pick up issue 2 because the story's got me like jazzed. But the artwork for me was a total letdown. I mean, unfortunately, we buy and sometimes read, with our eyes. And so when you see this cover, you're expecting some pretty crazy good looking artwork to go along with this good story. And I just was not impressed with the artwork. It fell, I mean, if it was a 10 out of 10, I would say it was like a 2, if not worse. The only thing that saved the artwork for me for this issue was Groot. Was the reveal of Groot and like seeing him devour bodies midair falling from a transport canister. Like, that's I really, the artwork just really stunk for me. The other thing that I didn't think was an issue for me was all the talk behind this book about is it gonna undo what Ewing did? And I wasn't thinking about that until we talked about it. And it definitely felt like there was a mention of what happened in Ewing's run, but it was so just like blip that it was stuck in my brain, unfortunately. Like that idea that we were still going to have that same tone, and that's my fault, right? That's my fault as a reader. And I need to get it out of my brain because it's definitely... Go ahead.
It is not your fault as a reader at all.
Okay.
Lansing and Kelling said multiple times in interviews that their intention was to make sure that Ewing's run was honored in their run.
It didn't feel like it.
It was not in the first issue. Now, I wouldn't just, give them an F in that department off of one issue, but
right,
that is not your fault as a reader to look for that when they clearly told you to look for it.
Well, it was very frustrating because I was like, God damn it. Like, it just feels like it's just non-existent, or it's like, oh, here it is, blip, you know what I mean? So that's my take of the book. I like the space western. I like the gunslinger aspect. I think it's really fun. I think it fits the group really well. So
I think if it was any other if it was any book that didn't have my heart as much as Guardians did, I think I'd probably be off of it. Not because of I agree with everything you said. I love the Western feel. I love the Western feel. I thought I was going to get frustrated by it, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The story seems intriguing. I like this Groot storyline, but like, art is mid. No reference to Al Ewing stuff. I feel like this cast is weak. I feel like we need a couple more members. Obviously, there's You know, Rocket is not here because I'm sure something to do with Groot, but like
Mhm.
this was a weak feeling Guardians first issue, and I will say that I don't know if I can blame the writers for this or not, but I will tell you the whole mysterious what happened to the Guardians, they did something wrong 6 months ago, what happened bullshit that we've endured and been enduring for a year from Spider-Man was a very bad way to, like, literally bad taste in my mouth right off the bat. I was like, oh, cool. I'm not going to find out what they did for another year.
Yeah.
And we get 2 issues a month of Spider-Man, and it still took a year. So
And we
I
still
was
don't really know.
Yeah, I was a little frustrated by that part too. And honestly, I think that's probably a big enough combination for me to jump off of a book if it's not
Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and I think I felt like the ending really, like the Groot reveal really sold me. Like I was like, oh shit, like I'm in for number 2, because like you're saying, this idea that, you know, ooh, what did the Guardians do? Yeah, I was just kind of like, okay, been there, done that. But it remains to be seen. But the Groot thing was definitely badass, though. I was just like, yeah, that is comics right there. So
Joe pointed out that's in Fantastic Four 2 right now. So
oh god, I am gone. I didn't even read it this week.
I did read it this week, but I am officially gone now too.
Yeah, I'm done. Now I do have a response to that.
Okay.
When you sent me that text about, and I think we're going to see it a lot with the books that we're currently reading. And I'm surprised we didn't come to this conclusion prior. So what's about to drop? There are 2 major things that are about to drop within the Marvel comic book universe that are going to change the game. What is that? We got one ad. We got a very specific ad in almost all of our Marvel books this week. What's coming?
Oh, the Ultimate stuff.
So the Ultimate stuff is happening, right? And then we have we have gods, right? And so the question really the question should be, it's clear, it feels very clear that some of the writers who are writing very heavy hitting books, very heavy characters, very Marvel characters, that's a stupid thing to say, but are in a holding pattern. So they're writing, and I've seen Comic Book Herald drop this too. He's kind of like, do you guys see a pattern with Marvel coming out with just little minis and short one-shots right now? And I think it's because we're waiting for Hickman to reestablish this new, world-building precedent for comics, and I think it's his last hurrah. Well, who knows? Maybe it's not, but I think we've all kind of perceived that it's his last hurrah with Marvel before he goes straight up Substack and is building, data pages for toilets,
Whatever he's doing down there.
Right, exactly. So I think for Fantastic Four specifically, even though we're not covering that book, I think that's what's going on. Because remember when Ryan North came on, he's like, I'm only doing short little one-shot stories here and there, like one-arc stories, and we're just going to kind of jump around. Well, no, you're jumping around because you're a placeholder until Hickman does what he does, and then, oh, bam, Donny Cates is writing Fantastic Four. I'm just saying, I'm not, whatever. Or Al Ewing's writing Fantastic Four, whatever. So just keep that in the back of your mind. I could be wrong, but I think that's kind of where we're headed with that. All right. Good.
I do want to address Joe's comment real quick, because Joe said, wow, I really liked Fantastic Four this week. They're just a fun comic. These one-off stories that leave you happy. Sometimes it's good to have one-shots.
100%.
And I agree with everything you're saying. It is a matter of fact, I think, that's why I read the first 6 issues, was because I wanted to give it a chance. I wanted to do that. I just feel like I'm personally not going to read the book anymore, because even in these one-off stories, they're not utilizing characters I want. These type of stories right now, these one-off, one and done, we're hitting resolution by the end of the comic book with the main 4. We did that for 40 years. And part of what has made the Fantastic Four reinvigorated for most readers in this generation has been bringing in Franklin and Val. And then, at least for me, in the past 3 years, has been bringing in the Kree Skrull kids. I can never remember their names, but bringing them in and having all four of the children, the entire Future Foundation, all of that stuff completely out. I genuinely am not interested in any one-shot stories that are just the original four characters. So it's not necessarily that I would say that this is a bad run for everyone, but
not for you.
Very bad for me. Very
well,
bad.
And here's the other thing: like that first arc was teased, like, oh, the kids, they're gonna be back. They're lost into black hole, right? And initially it felt like, oh, cool. So, the next arc will resolve that. No, it's probably going to happen towards the end of his run when we find out who the next writing team is. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. But again, it's not everybody's cup of tea. So we're allowed to have opinions. All right, let's move on to Moon Knight, issue number 22 from McKay. This is my pick of the week. This is my pick of the week. I had no idea that there could be another character that could rival my fandom in obsessiveness with Tigra. Because she's now, with this comic alone, she is rivaling, and if not a very close number two, if not almost one, like neck and neck the same to me as She-Hulk. I absolutely loved this issue. I loved the dynamic. I loved the slice of life. I just think this comic hits on all cylinders because you're dealing with a character who socially is not there, right? You've got someone who's dealing with multiple personality disorder. And it's clear that Mark is on the spectrum as well, because of his decision that he did here with Tigra and not Tigra, not divulging the information that he was Midnight Man. I don't know. It just, this entire comic for me hit it. Like, the way it was written, the artwork was just fucking stunning. The coloring was great. I don't know. It just hit it for me. And I felt it's one of these books. It's, again, for pick of the week, it has to be something where you're reading it and when it ends, you're like, no, I have to wait another month to get the next issue. Like, damn it. And I think McKay did a great job of the dialogue in the book. I don't know personally, obviously what McKay as a person who, what he deals with on any kind of level. So I don't know. Maybe he is on the spectrum. But the way he wrote Mark in this book, it's almost as if he has dealt with it before, right? The voice is there. The fight between the two, or lack thereof, and Tigra's emotion with Mark and how betrayed she is, I thought was amazing. I just love that this entire book really wasn't about Moon Knight, even though it was, but it was a Tigra issue. And I didn't know, I gave two shits about the character, and McKay has made me feel like, why aren't you a fanboy of Tigra?
Yeah.
Tigra.
McKay and Cantwell have done that really well with some just like D-list on the side characters with Tigra and Hellcat, two cat characters.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like I just thought this issue, I don't know. Like, I read it, and again, Captain Marvel was basically my pick of the week, and then this issue happened, and everything fired. The artwork, the coloring, the dialogue, the entire build-up, the flow of the comic. Never once was like, am I supposed to read this first? There are issues on this week's poll where some of these comics suffer from like, wait, did I read that in the right order? Never once did I feel like I wasn't reading the right panel. It just flowed perfectly. This was a perfect comic. And then, okay, I pride myself in being able to call something early. Like, oh, he's the dad. You know, some shit like that. Or like when you're watching a movie. For some odd reason, did not see Mark Moon Knight being Midnight Man. Just didn't see it coming. Don't know why. Didn't see it coming. And it's very evident, you know, like when they're watching the news and Tiger's like, "Hey, are you gonna do something about it?" He's like, "Nah, I'm fighting vampires. Oh, fuck it. Yeah, I don't need to do all that." I don't know, man. I just thought it was great. And I think the emotion and some of the lack their emotion with Moon Knight was really good. I don't know. I thought it was a great. If I had to say anything about this book that was negative, it's what we said in the new comic book day, and that is whoever did the cover royally fucked up. There's no stripes. There's no stripes.
No stripes, no tail.
Right.
How that got past editorial is beyond me.
Nope. Yep.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add because I agree with everything. I thought it was a great issue too. But I mean, it's this run, right? Like there's 22 straight issues of A to A plus issues. Like,
yeah. I mean,
just who was expecting 2 years ago that this random Moon Knight book that we were starting because they happen to be doing a TV show soon was going to start one of the greatest ongoing Marvel runs of like currently ongoing. Crazy.
Yeah, and you know, I don't remember what was the book for you that you were like, that's gonna rival my pick of the week, like, or the pick of the year. What was the book that you're? It's that the serial
slasher.
Yeah. This for me is probably up there, like in contention to be.
It won 2022 best Marvel book of the year for me. So
yeah, so it's still there. What up, Trail? Comic Joe, it's a great one to read. Tails behind her, and the stripes just don't show up in some lights. That's what the editors must have been thinking.
I guess.
Yeah, the cover, everything about the cover is great except for her design. But overall, I thought this was a fantastic book. And what this really did for me was get me even more hyped for McKay's Avengers run. Like, right? Because McKay's doing Avengers, right? I'm not. I get him. Who do I get? I get him in. Was it Iron Man? Who wrote Iron Man? Cantwell. I get those two confused, but I'm super stoked. I am ready. I'm getting like 4 covers for Avengers. So,
damn.
Yeah, there's some good ones. Anybody else pick up the Tigra Marvel Legends figure? I didn't, but I did, however. Side note. So I've gotten into this kind of obsession with some of these crazy trading cards.
Oh yeah.
And I'll show you one here. I'll just show a random one. So if you don't know, Upper Deck is releasing these cards called the Fleer Ultra Avengers 2022 series, and they're super thick. That's a card, but they look amazing, right? And this is just a standard, like base set card. Well, I haven't pulled Tigra, and I ended up ordering her card on eBay because I was like, you know what? I want to get it directly. I'm only missing like maybe 2 or 3 of the base set, so I ordered her card, and then I ordered a bunch of She-Hulk foil variants because I just said fuck it because I finally pulled her card too. But loving that stuff. So if you guys get a hold of that, if you see the Fleer Ultra 22s, pick it up. It's amazing. Let's see here. Let's get back to it. I got to get me some Upper Deck cards. So dope. They're amazing. Like the cards are great. I've got a stack actually. I've got some leftover pulls that I'm going to give to Nate, and then I have another stack of leftover pulls that I'm going to try to sell. So, Joe, what's one comic you could convince your wife to read? That's interesting. I don't know. Kind of looking at my pool, I don't know. Maybe She-Hulk. I think I'd have a better shot at getting my wife to read a manga before reading a comic. Could be wrong, but I think. But if I had to pick a specific, yeah, John just Googled the Tigra card. It's freaking sick. It's so good. Yeah, I think if I had to pick a book, it'd probably be She-Hulk, the current run. I don't know about previous runs, but the current run. Patty got the ex-girlfriend into comics back a couple years ago with She-Hulk and Tales of the Crypt, old ones that reminded her of the show she used to watch. Nice, yeah. But I think if it was a comic, it'd be She-Hulk. But I think I'd be able to get her to read a manga first before a comic. So that would be my answer. You?
Well, I didn't see the question.
If you could get your significant other to read a comic, or if you could get them to read a comic, what would it be?
Oh, see, that's like a trifold bad question for me, right?
Why?
Well, I mean, are you talking about my wife?
Oh Jesus!
God,
No,
I don't know.
No. Okay, let's talk. Okay, let's simple it down. Let's just say the person you are romantically involved with.
Then it would be the one that I already got her into, which is
what?
Wind.
Oh,
Wind
yeah.
Wind and Grimm.
Ooh, yeah. I think I could get Sarah to read Grimm. No, not Grimm. Wind.
But she's already into manga, so she reads a lot, or she watches a lot of anime. So
Right.
Oh, by the way, wait, never mind.
Huh? What?
Nothing. I was just
What?
bullshitting.
Can't do
I
that.
I finally found that one I was telling you about that I got for her. We were.
Oh yeah,
about
yeah.
Well, it's like there's no freaking way I'll be your lover unless I had to go to 4 different stores to finally find it. But while I was there, I also finally found the 2 volumes of Colorless.
Oh, dude, you're that far behind?
Well, there's only 3 of them.
I've had 2 and 3 for a while.
Well, I haven't.
Well, you want to know what? I guess we're kind of taking a break really quick. Here's a
So.
mid-show break of other stuff that we're enjoying. Ron ordered me. Boom. Here, let's.
Hey, see it.
Well, hold on.
Oh.
Neon Genesis Evangelion, the Shinji Ikari Rising Project. So this is the omnibus number 1. This is so in the original book, in the original anime, in the finale, there is a episode where Shinji, you get to see a slice of life of what Shinji's life would have been if the angels had never, like if it was like a rom-com slice of life story. And we actually got to see the characters act like normal high schoolers rather than children who are fending off the end of the world. And so it's currently on its 6th volume omnibus. So each one has 3 volumes worth of book. And
18,
Ron already ordered the whole series for me. So I just picked up issue 1, or volume 1 or omnibus 1. But 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all in my aside. I will be picking up as I read. So pretty freaking cool. I'm excited to read this because I'm a huge Neon Genesis Evangelion fan, and I want to read this a lot. And then what else? I bought some other mangas. I got that Cubed Life one that I showed you. I got the third or the second one of that. Next week is a manga heavy week for me outside of my pools.
Oh, really?
I think I have 4. I'm buying 4 mangas next week.
Oh.
Yeah, so
we might have to start integrating.
Well, that's something I think we've talked about that.
Yeah.
We've asked our patrons about that, and I think as we get closer to getting to some semblance of full time, I just think we have to. I think we got to talk about manga. I would love to incorporate it into the show because I did some digging the other day and saw some other channels that do reviews, and to be honest, I wasn't quite impressed.
Interesting.
I think we can do it better. You got 3 in my pool. Well, I'm talking about the other thing, Lee, the Witchcraft Work volume that didn't come in. I don't know if it's coming in this week, but it didn't get ordered. So hopefully it comes in this week, if not the next week. That's why I say 4. But I know I've got 3 that we talked about. Which I'm super stoked.
Memorize.
Well, because we talked it through. We worked our shit out. I called the shop and she helped me get through it. John says I'm definitely checking out Crazy Food Truck. You know what? I think that would be a perfect book I think that would be a perfect book to review on the show. maybe we can do like a pre-recorded and talk about it, or we could do a live. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We got to figure. We need more time. All right, let's keep moving. That was a nice little break. Wait, what you got? Okay.
That's it.
Sins of Sinister Storm and the Mutants, the Brotherhood of Mutants, issue 3. This is the last issue from Al Ewing in the Sins of Sinister run. I liked the story. I did. I really liked it. That being said, jumping over to Empire's argument, it doesn't. I mean, we all knew it wasn't going to be consequential to some point, right? Because this is an Elseworld story. This thing is going to get cleaned up with a wipe of Moira, right? Sure. But there will be consequences. I mean, the fall they're hinting that what happens in Sin ends up having consequences throughout the rest of the fall, into the fall of X. And it will shatter, or it will crack the sovereignty of Krakoa. So that's fine. But it does feel like we're at this crossroads right now with the X line, where our expectations are either too high or they just won't be met. And it's a little disappointing. But if I put that aside and I just put this as a standalone in this little event, I really enjoyed it. I liked seeing the progression of the Brotherhood and how they've evolved in 1,000 years, and seeing how badass they are. But I think Empire, you said something earlier, something like, it just seems like a waste because, Sinister is just going to wipe it, right? Which I think we all knew was coming, but I think there will be consequence. I don't know if those consequences will satisfy our expectations, but there will be some form of consequence, I think. Now, whether it's good or bad, I don't know. But overall, I enjoyed the book. I thought it was fun. And I liked, it's Al Ewing. I can't knock it. I thought it was great. I think there's only been like maybe one issue of a book from Al Ewing that I was like, nah, that ain't it, son. Everything else that I've read from him has been amazing. Yeah,
I agree. I was maybe slightly disappointed at the art. Stylistically, I actually thought it was pretty neat, but it felt overtly digital to me.
Yeah.
Like, I understand we're kind of going there, but like, it just felt like all of the ink lines were like way too thick, and it just had this like overt.
I can see that.
Like, I can't. What's that? Procreate? Is that the main iPad app that everyone uses to draw on?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Just had that Procreate look.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. And John, I think you said it best too. Some of these Sinister books are a bit over my head. I struggle to keep up. Maybe it's the run. This one was probably, I don't know. I've enjoyed Storm. I've enjoyed Ewing's book. I've enjoyed Karen Gillan's book. Zeb Wells, that's just a whole other plate of worms that I'm not going to get into. He doesn't give a fuck. Like, he's just telling the story he wants to tell, and he doesn't care if you understand it or not. And he's having fun doing it. And like his first issue within the Sins of Sinister, I thought was really good. And I felt like I could follow. And the second one, I was like, gone, out of here, bye, and
I'm no longer following.
We're about to get the third one, and am I gonna read it? Yes. Am I gonna understand it? Probably not. I'm trying really hard. If I'm gonna be absolutely honest, I'm trying very, 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 very hard to be upbeat about the X-Men, because they're about to do some crazy shit. And is it within the realm of my expectations? No. Is it exciting for me to read the new shit that's coming out? Yeah, I think there's some cool stuff coming out with the Fall of X. And I think I've finally gotten to the point where I just have to give up. And I'm sure you're going to give me a round of applause and yay, or it's about damn time. But I think I'm finally I'm exhausted by holding the expectation of Hickman over the X Office. It's just like, let's just have some fun,
Yeah, I mean, it's about time.
So that's just kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I get it.
Let's see here. Emperor, I liked the secret I liked Secret Empire. Why? Because of the twists and turns. No one knew how each issue would end. We don't have that intrigue in these books. I don't know what I'm looking for, but bringing Storm back was odd. I didn't know, like, because of how we know this is going to end, how it's going to end. I guess you're kind of right? Because she's not going to none of these characters are these characters going to have any memory of this? You would assume not, right? When they get wiped,
Probably not, but we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe I don't know. What up, Eric? Yo. Anyway, let's get to Joe's question here really quick. When I first started watching y'all's channel, the first thing I noticed is y'all's love for X-Men. Y'all would find so much enjoyment even in the meh comics, but now y'all are here. Dropped half the X books. What has changed so much for you to have no patience with the meh books? I think for me, and I think I just said it, I'm gonna get back. I think I'm going back to the meh books because I think my expectation ruined the meh books for me, my Hickman expectations. And you know, it's growth, right? We're evolving, but I think you're right, Joe. Like I want to get back to just having a silly goose time with my X books, and I think it's a bit of a chore when you get something so good from a writer and there's these huge massive changes and then it's so good that you're like, okay, well, the rest has to be good too, right? And I think that's a lot to ask for when you have multiple writers dealing with the same, when they're playing in the same world. I think if it was a core group of 2 or 3, including whoever it is, like Hickman, then I think that expectation is worthwhile. But when you have 7, 8, 9 different writers under the umbrella of what Hickman wrote, I think it was selfish. It was selfish to be like, because we were even waning at the beginning, right? Because we were, I mean, it's within Joe's question. There were books at the beginning of the Hickman X-Men run that were meh, that we really didn't need to pick up, but we did it anyway because we wanted to be involved and we wanted the silly goose time. And I think we've gotten away from that a little bit. And so looking at the slate that's coming out with the Fall of X, am I going to pick up Uncanny Spider-Man? Yeah, I'm going to do it. It's a Nightcrawler Spider-Man. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have fun.
I'm surprised, but Cy Spurrier.
I know. I'm going to do it. Now,
that's why I'm picking it up.
I'm not saying that I'm going to commit to it fully. It's going to be in my pool. I'm not even giving it 2 issues. Damn it, it's on forever. No, I'm giving it 2 issues. And if it doesn't scratch the itch, unfortunately, I'm probably going to be like, meh, I want to go focus on other things. Yeah. But for a majority of the X line that's coming out in the fall of X, I'm about it. Like, there's some cool shit coming out, I think. Even the Iceman thing. The Iceman thing's got me super intrigued. I mean,
like you said that right. Just last said another Iceman book with a crying face.
Well, Steve Orlando's writing it, isn't he? Isn't Steve Orlando writing it? I think he's writing it.
If it is, that intrigues me a little bit more because I'm not a big Bobby fan, but
I'm not either. But I think Steve Orlando's.
Not that there's anything wrong with the character. He seems a little boring.
No, you hate him. Anyway,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I'm down with the Sins of Sinister anymore. I'm not down with it. It was too much happening in too short of a time. I could see that. When Hoxpox first started, I didn't jump on it, and I felt like a cult book, like Jonestown or Waco. Oh damn. Yeah, last it's just like it just felt like too much of a chore to expect continuity, to expect fluidity, and to expect seamlessness. It's just there's too much. There's too much. And if you're going to do that many books, you have to have a silly goose time on, that's just the way it is. Now, I will say, Cy Spurrier's book has been a tremendous letdown for me. And I don't think it's because it's a meh book. I just think that dude is on another plane of existence when it comes to his writing and thinking. That dude's just He's big brain to the point where I'm just dumb. I'm dumb. I'm dumb.
No.
No, I am. Let's see here, Joe. I asked the question a while back with how books are written for trades, not singles. So maybe 2 issues isn't enough to see what they're doing because they aren't writing that way anymore. You know, you got a point there.
Yeah.
But again, it's a combination of, and maybe this is selfish on my part. It's a combination of like my time is worth something, and then I think also the money, the amount of money that I'm spending. If you can't grab me in 2, and maybe I should expand it to 3, or maybe I should expand it to the first arc. That's probably the more fair thing to do, is expand it to the first arc, and then if I'm not feeling it, I'm out. That's what I did with Fantastic Four. You know, I dipped out. I jumped into the second arc, and then I was like, meh, I'm out. So
I don't know if we could fully call that a second arc.
All right. X-Men, just continuing on with the Captain Marvel dealing with the Brood. We get that here, and we start to see the cracks, right? We start to see the cracks in the X-Men team with Jean Grey and Scott, with Scott Summers. You know, we may have a division within the actual X-Men group not too long when we jump into the Fall of X. And I'm sure you absolutely loved Scott losing his shit and going, that's the guy I love to hate.
the guy going, these people remind my daddy. I think we should commit genocide. To the woman who literally had genocide committed in her own image and has had to deal with that trauma for decades. He was like, I just want to pull a quick genocide and Gene won't let me. Dumb bitch. Fuck that guy. I'm so glad that Jerry Gary knows what kind of a piece of shit Cyclops really is and wrote him correctly. Like, if there was ever a panel of Cyclops and just how much of a dirtbag piece of crap he is, that is the panel right there. See him without his glasses, see him what his face truly is, and it's just awful. Awful.
Well, there you go. Overall, I like
that's how I feel about it.
I like the issue. I think the house style that we have here from Cassili is fantastic. I feel like we laid down some definite pillars and foundations for future storytelling within the X line. And I guess I'll be interested to see if Gary Jerry continues his run on this, on X-Men. If you looked at his independent book that came out, he's got like 2 or 3 other independent books, not on top. He's doing a lot of shit. So I gotta wonder if he's gonna continue to do. If he's gonna continue to do it. And Eric, I'm kind of there with you. I still like Cyclops. He's just cool, dude.
He's not cool.
He's so cool. Nothing. But overall, I liked it. I thought it was a good issue. I'd be very interested to see where the X book goes when the fall happens, and will we see a team divided? I definitely liked seeing Jean still kick ass with Nightmare, and Nightmare being like, "Your fall will be soon." I liked it. I thought it was fun. But overall, it was I'd give it an A-. A-.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it fits right in there with the Brood stuff. See what happens after this. Now that we're done with Brood stuff, I was really only sticking around for that, but I'll stick around for 22. We'll see what happens.
Calvin says it's a good genocide if Scott wants to do it.
Calvin, how dare you? You know that is not true.
3 hearts from Eric. All right, let's move on. Let's jump over to our independents, and we're gonna kick it off with Boom Studios. The Seasons Have Teeth, issue number 1. I'll be honest, it was not in my pool. I forgot to pick it up. I picked it up this afternoon. I got halfway through it, and then I had to start the show. So, from my very limited exposure to this book, I'm a little intrigued, but I don't know how it ended. So tell me, is this worth it?
I won't be picking up issues.
Okay, all right.
So I'm not exactly sure what I was supposed to get out of this. It felt a little, I don't know, all over the place.
Hmm.
So we're in this, not too distant future where enough climate change has happened where the seasons are these actual personified like kaiju like creatures
Yeah.
that have paths that they travel. They talk about the paths they travel similar to like we would talk about like a hurricane or something. But people are supposed to evacuate and get away. This is what it looks like. It's like a kaiju-esque monster. It's got
Kaiju-esque
teeth and bones and plant matter. This one was supposed to be spring, and like the main character that we're following here is a photojournalist who has decided that he's a recent widower, and he's decided he's not going to leave. He's not going to leave during the evacuation. He's going to stay and photograph what his town looks like while the season passes through. And he kind of goes through this halfway telling a story of what he's seeing, which is young kids or like young adults that have decided that they also want to dare the system and see the season. And at one point they go and even touch the thing, and it's not harmful or angry at all. And he takes photos of them, and it gets in the paper. And then he also reminisces about the spring of his life when he was a young adult, first married, and there's this gazebo where him and his wife were making out for the first time that gets destroyed, and it just felt like really sloppy to me. Really sloppy. I don't know like exactly what point Waters was trying to make here. And I'm not intrigued enough by like, oh, what's gonna happen with the next seasons? Like, the next one's summer, so is it gonna be like a fire monster? Or like,
Okay.
So I will not be picking up any more issues out of this.
Fair enough. I'm gonna read the rest of it, but I'm sure I'll probably be in the same boat. But hey, it's boom number one. Put it in the box. Put it in the Mylar. Just tack it away. And wait for it. My eye is freaking the fuck out. Wow. All right. 8 Billion Genies. 8
So we haven't covered this book in a while, and I hadn't read 6 or 7.
Got it.
And so I actually couldn't find issues 1 through 3.
Uh-oh.
But I went back and read 4 through 8, all back to back in one sitting without me. We had recently had a conversation, it's come up again about, we're writing more for trades than we are for individual issues, giving stuff its proper due, yada yada. So I said, you know what, issue 4 is about where I started dipping on this one, so I'll start over. And I'm glad I did that. I felt the force of this book a little bit more. Each book is some type of 8 period. The first book's like the first 8 seconds, then the first 8 minutes, blah blah blah. Well, this one is the first 8 centuries.
Oh shit.
But we actually don't start with the first 8 centuries. We start with the previous 8 centuries. We start with the genie who becomes the guy that's running the bar.
Yeah.
We see him as a genie being like, yo, you're the last one, dude. Like you're about to go live down on Earth. Like, good luck. And we basically see that he goes down to Earth, and he goes down to Earth in 1200 AD. So he's like 800 and something years old. Because of course he's immortal. He's not going to die as a genie.
Right.
He can still feel pain like a human, which is interesting. So like at one point he gets chopped into pieces because he decides he wants to be like Alexander the Great. At one point he decides that he's not ready for the world to, because the whole thing is once they get back to 8 billion people, this is when this reset happens. And so apparently he's the one that causes the bubonic plague because he doesn't want the population to get close, and so he sets them back. Apparently the way it was on track was that it was supposed to hit 8 billion people in 1872. And so he resets that. I don't really. It was a fun and interesting tell, but we spent half the issue doing that, and I don't really understand why. Besides the fact that he was trying to say he spent his whole life trying to figure out what would be the perfect wish, because they'd kind of like to end this cycle of just redoing everything. And so and halfway through the book, we pick up with the first 8 centuries now. This is what the Earth looks like.
Oh,
It's got a big chunk taken out of it. The moon is a bearded man, which is interesting. That actually happened in the previous issue, but I just thought that. And pretty much the only people that are still alive are the woman who is the girl of the 3-piece band that was in the bar, the one that wastes her wish right away trying to get the other member of the band to fall in love with her. Well, in the previous issue, the 3 of them did this 3-way thing to get into a commune that was like, the last wish has to be approved by all 3 of us. Unless one of us dies, then all 2 of us, and then it goes. And then the way that they worded it, they accidentally made her immortal. And then Fei Long and his wife, the Chinese tourists that were in the bar that found the wrong bar, their daughter ends up immortal because her mom wishes right before she dies that her daughter won't die from the genies. Like the way she words it again is like,
gotcha.
And so the story ends with those 2 and the bartender back in the bar 800 years later, talking like, "Fuck,
here we go.
What are we doing here?" They're the last 2 left with wishes. Fei Long's daughter has spent her whole past 600 years of existence hunting people with wishes and like taking their wishes away and like killing them and stuff. Just tattoos all up her arm of genies of all the ones that she's taken. And she comes to realize at the last minute that she's not worthy of making a wish. So her wish is, I wish I didn't have a wish.
Oh.
And that gives, I think Veronica is her name, the one in the band, gives her the final wish. And she's like, no, I know what the perfect wish is. I know how to do all this. I know what to do. And it's kind of wholesome. It's kind of cute. It's also a cop-out. Because her wish is that she wishes that everyone would love the way that they want to be loved. And that is what's going to fix humanity. And they're going to reset everything. And everyone on this new earth is going to love people the way they want to be loved. It is very cute. And we realize, the book ends essentially with the next 8 seconds. I don't know if this ending could have been any better. I don't know if this ending is bad. I think this kind of story is really, really, really difficult to end, and it's much more about the journey than the end. But going back and rereading it, I think in a bigger chunk was definitely worth it. I'd give the overall book a solid B+.
Okay.
So if Joe said this is his pick of the week, I will agree. Joe said I had the chills when she said I to not have a wish. I obviously glazed through a lot of it. Like, you do get to feel that character and her finally getting to that point where she just goes, I wish to not have a wish. Fuck it. Like,
right.
That was a pretty big selfless thing. So, Patty, I agree. I'm very interested to see how the hell they're going to do this as a show. Because apparently it is still currently being worked on. Charles Soule has already written the first 2 episodes or something. So,
well, maybe we'll have a more expanded ending with the show.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's jump over to Noctera, issue number 13 from Scott Snyder. Whoa. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. I just knew that I was excited that Emery was the character that we were going to start following, right? But I was just not expecting what we got. You know, we finally get to Eos and beings of light. You know, just like weird looking alien beings of light. So it looks like we're dealing with another interstellar. Earth is the battleground between two other alien species. That's kind of looks like where we're headed with this book. I'm enjoying it. I like the blacktop bill. Him being
his resurrection in the like
ugh,
primordial ooze of space.
Ugh.
That was
pretty crazy.
Actually, I got ahead of myself, or I got too talking 8 billion genies, but you can go ahead and
What?
push the button for me on this one.
Oh, on Noctera?
That's nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, this was my pick of the week. This is very close. I think a lot of books could. I think Moon Knight probably, if you hadn't said it, I probably would have said Moon Knight. But I think this one, I think this issue of Noctera did everything I want a book of Noctera to.
Joe, really quick, John asked you to show the panel of Blacktop Bill's head getting shot.
Yes, he gets shot with a beam of light and kaboom!
What does he say? I guess that's a no.
He gone.
What does he say in that panel?
He says, "Yeah, I'll take that as a no." Yes, yeah, I do know the one. It is, yeah. So there's the part where Bill's also talking about how the fucking space Cthulhu like reanimates him.
Yeah,
this
pretty
whole
crazy.
2-page spread is insane. You could really see Bill getting chomped up in that one too.
Pretty crazy.
Anytime you do cosmic horror like that with me, so we're looking for that Lovecraftian style. I really,
it was a good issue.
I think getting Emery as our narrator was, such a good idea. I know that's what we say every issue with this run. I think Tony Daniel was firing on all cylinders with his art. Yeah, I think it just had everything I want from a singular issue.
I just wasn't expecting the ending at all. I just...
No, I wasn't either, but, honestly, like, it kind of fits with what Scott Snyder does, but it's almost like these are our children of the vault for Noctera. These are our post-human, the next step in evolution of humanity sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
They are the light that they need.
Right. I'm interested, and I was really worried that this, coming back from break was really going to destroy this book, and it's only made it stronger. So let's just not do the granddaughter, and I think we're good. I think this book will be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
All right, our last book of the night is Phantom Road, issue number 2 from Jeff Lemire. I'm very interested to see what you think about this book. I also was a little bit on the fence with issue 2. But again, I'm not committing to a full run, but I will be picking up issue 3 after this issue, just because of the just the questions. I think the questions hooked me of like, wait, so what's going on? Or, we get an explanation from a character that I personally think is like the Stand version of the devil.
Okay, hold on.
Neither up.
Does that motherfucker not look like Ronald Reagan to you?
Yeah.
Like, that's on purpose, right?
I would assume so.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just it went from, okay, what the hell's going on in issue 1 to, okay, I think, like, what the hell's going on? But now that even the characters are like, what the fuck is going on? And we're even getting snippets of information, and we still don't know. But I think that's a good thing. Like, I think it's obviously on purpose. There are books that do this, and it's clear that they're like, no, you should know what's going on, and you read it, and you're like, I still don't know what the fuck's going on. And I think that's the opposite here. And so I look at my pool and what independence I do have, and this one's scratching a bit of an itch. And the fact that it is Jeff Lemire has got me intrigued, and I am on the hook right now, at least till issue 3, to see what really is going on. I liked the explanation and lack thereof from that Ronald Reagan looking devil kind of character. And I don't know. I think issue if I were to compare the two issues, I think issue 2 is stronger than issue 1.
Oh,
I think
there's no doubt. No doubt.
So, and Joe, thank you very much for reminding everyone, Hulk smash the like button, please, before this show ends, so we can get that algorithms up.
So, I will go one step further and say that I'm pulling the book.
You're pulling it, okay? Wow,
I'm pulling it for sure. My issue 3 could be totally trash, and I'll at least keep going. So,
okay.
The reason why is this book passed the gem code on 2 different things. I said "oh shit" out loud while reading the book, and when it ended, I was like, "Fuck, I want more." And so the fact, just by that alone, it deserves a pickup. And then I think John hit it really well too. It's a slow build that I actually feel like it's there now, and it's Jeff Lemire, and I trust him.
Right.
So yeah, I love this issue. I thought it was really good. You hit the nail on the head for me too. This has a Stephen King feel to it. The Stand is a really good example, but there's another book not frustrating me. It's the one that he co-wrote with Peter Straub. The Talisman. Yeah, where the kid can jump back and forth and between the 2 worlds, and it just like happens simultaneously, and it's really weird. Like, it is very much, this story is very inspired by the Talisman. So
okay.
I'm all about it, man. They should have honestly, they should have given us an oversized issue 1 and issues 1 and 2.
I would agree with that.
I think a lot more people went into this book after issue 2 that they read that first one and just like that.
Yeah. Well, and you know, you had a bit of a personal bias on that, and that's okay. And I totally understand that. But yeah, I agree with you. I think this should have been an oversized issue. And usually I thought Image kind of did that. They had a norm with that where they would do oversized and it would still be like,
it's up to the creators.
$3.99. Right. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this issue of Two Fat Guys Pull List, issue 127. Again, just like Joe said, make sure to Hulk smash that like button, subscribe, ring the bell, be on all that is Two Fat Guys Pull List, be in the know, be notified, and yeah, make sure you're subscribed because we're giving away stuff, guys. We just need to hit certain numbers to do it. So let's do it. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys again this Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for New Comic Book Day. We've got I think we got a pretty solid week of comics when it comes to next week, and we will get into that on Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time here on YouTube. So make sure you're on tune for that. Then we'll be here live again for the live show talking about all those books. And then be on the lookout. We've got some other videos that we haven't created yet, but they're on the calendar. And one of them is, like we always do every year, it's one of our most successful videos, and that is our top 5 picks for new Free Comic Book Day, which is coming down the pipeline very quickly. So be on the lookout for that and any other breaking comic book news, even though a lot of shit is broken and we just haven't gotten to it because we've been fucking busy. But we'll get there, guys, because the goal is to at some point go full time. And so Two Fat Guys is just what it is, and we will be up to date on everything. I will tell you, in the back of my brain, I have been thinking about reworking our logo, doing a little bit of a refresh. So be on the lookout for that. I might do like maybe a poll or like a voting, maybe. Maybe there'll be a post on YouTube or on our Instagram. So make sure you're following on all of our socials to keep an eye out for that. It's really probably just going to be an update on the font. So I'm going to, mess around with it and see what you guys like, see what you think, and we might pull the trigger on updating our logo. At some point, I want to upgrade or update our faces. I've been really playing around a lot with the AI generated thumbnails of us being anime characters, and I'm really wanting to create our faces in like a chibi style anime faces. So I think I may have cracked the code on that one. Earlier today I was playing around and made a chibi version of Tony Stark as Iron Man, and I was actually quite surprised and impressed with the results of that. So I may have cracked the code on chibi artwork for Two Fat Guys Pull His Faces. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know. I may not do it. I may do it, but just a little update to the logo. Let us know down in the comments or in chat. Do you want to see an updated logo, or should we just keep it the same? Should we not even put any effort into it? Should we just keep on chugging?
I like how you say we as if I'm gonna do anything about it.
What? What'd you say?
I like how you say we as if I'm gonna.
No, you're not doing shit. You're just gonna sit there and go, I like it. Right. Anyway, we'll see you guys again. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Joe, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I will read it. What are we up to? Issue 5 on this current one. I'll give it a read because I've never read any Miles books before.
I really, I feel bad about this, but I'll probably go on a hunt for cover A's, and I know that's gonna be hard because there's like a new character in one of them. So.
Well, you also hate Miles Morales too. It's weird.
That is not true. Oh my god. All right.
Oh my god.
Oh shit. Do I have it up here? I don't. Damn it, guys. I will show it at New Comic Book Day. I got one of the coolest fucking trading cards known to fucking man. I know I said the F word a lot.
That's a lot of F words.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the tease, guys. So just be prepared on New Comic Book Day video to see one of the coolest trading cards ever.
Ever.
Because I landed one of the coolest ones. And I didn't even post about it I posted on my personal social. I didn't even put it on Two Fat Guys Pull List. But be prepared because it is sick. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys next time. We'll catch you on Tuesday, and then we'll catch you guys next Sunday. As always, fam, be kind to one another and read more comics. We'll catch you in the next one, guys. Later. Oh, those Miles issues can still be found for cover price. Lee, if you are still here, can you hook me up? Can you help me out here? Let me know. I need to read it.
Maybe there is still a good Spider-Man book out there.
Do we drop ASM? Find out in the next New Comic Book Day video.
No.
Spoilers, we're picking it up. Oh, you're not? You're not going to?
No, I'm not dropping it.
Oh, you're not? You are dropping it. You're not?
Dropping it.
Oh, you're not dropping it. It sounded like you were dropping it.
Oh my god.
Bye.
Dropping it already.